When I was in 4th grade, I was about 2 years behind everyone else in reading. If given enough time, I could eventually read things through, but reading did not come easily for me. I remember sitting in class fearing the teacher would call on me to read aloud to the class. If we were reading around the room, I would count out how many paragraphs it would take to get to me, then I would read my paragraph over and over so I was ready when it was my turn. I wouldn't even listen to my classmates when they were reading aloud. The only thing that I worried about was making sure that I could read all of the words in my paragraph. It was very embarrassing for me to stumble on words that everyone else could easily pronounce. And even worse was the feeling that I was holding everyone up, that it was my fault that we couldn't get through the reading faster. But this all changed one day. That day came when we had free time in the library to check out a few books. I started to do what I always did in the library, walk around and look at the pictures on the covers. I'd usually choose covers that had certain colors or ones with interesting characters. Once I decided which covers I liked the most, I'd check them out. For most of my visits to the library, I'd stay near the same section of books. But on this particular day, I wandered a little further than I usually did, and I came across a book that looked pretty interesting. On the cover of the book, there was a boy flying a broom, and in golden letters it said, "Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone." I brought the book up to the counter and handed it to the librarian. She looked at the book, then at me, paused for a moment, and said that this book was too difficult and that I should pick something within my reading level. I didn't know what to say, so I stood there in silence. I couldn't even think. What gave her the right to tell me what I could and could not read? After a moment of silence, she suggested a few other books that I might like to check out. Finally, I shook my head and spoke up. I told her I'd like to try and read the Harry Potter book. I took the book home and started reading it right away. Page after page I continued to read, my mind racing with wizards and wands and spells. The book seemed to fly by, and by the end of the night I had read the entire book. Now I don't know if it was my determination to prove the librarian wrong, or the fact that I found something I was interested in to read, but I did it. I read the whole book, and it was awesome. Over the next couple of years, my reading level improved. I became comfortable reading in class and in front of my peers. If I was called upon to read to the class, I could easily do so. The fear that I wouldn't be able to pronounce words right or read quick enough was gone. In my spare time, I found more and more books that I liked, and reading became something I could enjoy instead of fear. My reading improved so much that by the time I was in 8th grade, I was able to read at a college level. When I think back to what helped me become a better reader, it's easy to say that Harry helped me through the tough times. But if it wasn't for my elementary school librarian not believing in me, I wouldn't have found the courage to believe in myself.